Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. And been a while since we've been on here. So thought we'd start with something a bit simple-ish. This journey we're going to do today involves the Class 170, which is a diesel multiple unit in blue and white, which is the colours of the Anglian livery. And we're on the Wherry lines. It's the Norwich to Great Yarmouth and Lowestoft. So before we get started, let's talk about the Class 170, or the Class 170 turbostar diesel multiple unit XC. You're not sure what XC stands for. So there was a total of 140 built. A total weight of these units was 133.2 tonnes per 3-car unit. Vehicle length 77 feet 6 inches or 23.62 metres. Engine power was 422 horsepower per car. Engine maximum speed of 100 miles per hour, which is 160 kilometres per hour. And a fuel capacity of 1,030 gallons of diesel, or 4,682 litres. The new generation Class 170s were built at Derby, and they featured a welded aluminium body structure and hydraulic transmission. Each of these vehicles, as we said, is 422 horsepower diesel engine, providing a maximum speed of 100 miles per hour per unit. There is no unpowered trailer vehicles. Everyone has an engine. Engine and transmission is situated under the body and provides a drive to one bogie per vehicle. A bogie, if you don't know, is the sets of wheels underneath the train. It's usually sets of 4, sometimes could be 6. So each set is a bogie. Class 170 units use a BSI automatic coupling to work in multiple and are also compatible with British Rail classes 150s, 156s and the 158 Sprinters. The Class 170s units, they've been categorised into 6 subclasses, all with the same basic specifications. The differences are basically just the seating arrangements specified by different operators. They can vary in weight for the units, but generally they're about 2 tonnes. So, having told us all about that, we will now crack on and do the scenario planned. So, just before we get started then, so if you're new to my channel or you are a regular to my channel, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you like what I'm doing, leave a comment, a like, and don't forget to smash the bell button if you want me to know when I'm going to put out new content. This service we're going to be doing is the Class 170 from Norwich to Great Yarmouth. It is a journey of about 35 minutes. It starts at Norwich it's about 5 o'clock in the morning. I forget exactly what time. Just after 5 o'clock in the morning. It's an early start. I think it's the first service of the day. The service will only be calling at one station on the way. This will be, forget the name of the place now. Brundall, that's it, Brundall. It will stop at Brundall and then stop at Great Yarmouth. Along the way there's going to be 2 temporary speed limits. One of them will be just after Brundall, along that line somewhere, a temporary speed limit of about 30 miles per hour. There's also another temporary speed limit, which comes after Burnley Arms. And that one is 20 miles per hour. So here we are at Norwich. We've just opened the doors, let the passengers on board. We are actually due away at 6 minutes past. That clock's... Oh, they're always correct, those clocks. Right, so there's not a lot to do in here. Windows do not open on this locomotive. Right, so basically then there's not much to do on here. The reverse has already been set into forward. Master key we don't need to touch on this particular model. We're just going to press the Y key now and put the DRA on, the red light. That's because we've got a red signal. We must apply that. Right, we shall put lights on. That's that sorted. The wipers are down here, but we won't be needing it because it's going to be a nice sunny morning by the looks of it. The AWS is here to cancel the alarm when we get adverse signals. This is the brake gauge here. The needle on the right hand side is the one we will be looking at. At the moment we're on full service. As the brakes are released, the needle will drop to 0. This is our speedometer. Quite a good speedometer really. It's very clear to read. Plus that's about it really. This big knob on the top here is the emergency brake, which we will not need to touch hopefully. So when the door's shut and we get the green light, we can proceed. We're going to do this journey today with no hood. I practiced it a few times earlier today and I managed to get 100% on 1000 XP. So let's see if I can do it now it comes to the crunch. Once we get that green light, as we have just got the green light, we can now turn off that. And I think the doors are shut in. Okay, leaving Norwich at 6 minutes past 5. Speed limit leaving the station is 25 miles per hour. For those in my audience who are not familiar with Norwich or the Wherry lines, it is in the east of England. Anglia. Norfolk, should I say. It's going to be a lovely sunset by looks of it. Just when we get around this next corner, the speed limit will go up to 60 miles per hour. We're just waiting to see the sign, which is just up here somewhere. We will pass through one station before we get to Brundall, called Brundall Gardens. It just gives me a bit of a clue as to when I need to start thinking about slowing down. The station at Brundall Gardens is approximately about half a mile away from Brundall itself. Just reduce the power by 1 notch because this will keep us at approximately 58 miles an hour, even though the speedometer will probably say about 60. The speedometer is not quite accurate on this model. But we'll go by the speedometer and not the actual speeds. If you see any W signs on the side of the railway, they are you got to sound your horn, but we can't do that because it's before 6 o'clock in the morning and it's illegal to sound your horn on a train before that time in the UK. So we will not be sounding our horn at any whistle boards for legal reasons. Nice how the sun's shining onto the rails. The warning board there for 20 over 60, which is basically if you're in a loco hauled service, then you need to slow down 20 mile per hour. There's a bridge just coming up. Not this bridge. It's a bridge that we go over, not under. And if you are loco hauled, you have to slow down for that bridge because I think it's a weak bridge, but we're not loco hauled. We're multiple units, so we don't need to slow down. We just carry on as we are. And this is the bridge. Very shortly we should be going through Brundall Gardens. Just one thing I need to tell you. This service is actually Norwich via Reedham to Great Yarmouth. When we get near Reedham, I will point it out to you to let you know. We don't actually stop at Reedham, but we'll let you know when we get to Reedham. Reedham is a station what splits the route into two. Usually, if you go one way, you'll go to Great Yarmouth. If you go the other way, you'll get to Lowestoft. We're now approaching Brundall Gardens. So we're less than a mile away from our first stop. This is Brundall Gardens. At this point, I'm going to idle the power. just coast for a little while. And then as we get around this corner, it's quite a long corner, we're going to start braking. At this next whistle board, we are braking now. We should start to see Brundall platform coming up soon. Just going to release the brakes a little bit. I think I might be coming in a bit too slow. No, we're not. There's the signal before the platform. There's the Brundall platform 2 on the left. So here we are at Brundall. This is our only stop, as I said. We're approximately 15 miles from Great Yarmouth at this point. We just wait for the doors to shut. When the guard shuts the doors, he'll buzz, and when we press the C key twice to buzz back to let him know we've heard him, and then we can proceed. Okay, speed limit's still 60 miles per hour. We will be heading straight on. If we go left, I think that's Lowestoft, the route to Lowestoft. I think it's the route to Lowestoft, don't get me wrong. I might be wrong. There's about 2 or 3 different ways of getting to Norwich. So shortly we're going to be expecting the 30 mile per hour speed restriction, temporary speed restriction on this line. When we get to it, there should be a audible warning, and then another audible warning, and then we should see a small yellow board with the 30 on it. Then when we reach another board with the letter T on it, that means it's terminated, and then we can go back to our line speed of 60. When we reach the temporary speed restriction, we have to be aware that there is a slight gradient at the restriction of, I forget what it is, but it will be enough to cause us to accelerate above 30, so we do need to bear that in mind and apply brakes if we feel that we are going to creep over that 30 mile per hour speed limit. That was the warning, and we'll just idle power here. That's the second warning, and I'll also start applying the brakes now. And there's the board. So that's the warning board. Now we've got to brake down to 30 before we get to the next board, which is the speed limit itself. Just going to go up to step 2 braking because I feel like I'm not slowing down enough. Yeah, we just did it in time. I'm going to brake down to about 26, 27 miles per hour just to allow for that gradient. As you can see, the speed is now coming back up again. And if need be, we shall apply a little brake. The train just bounced, so I presume now that we've levelled out. Right, we'll just coast. The termination board is on just about to pass us. We're doing about 27 miles per hour. When we get to this line of bushes on the left, we can start accelerating roughly. So about another mile or so up here will be Reedham. As we get through Reedham, there's going to be a speed reduction of 15 mile per hour as we get past Reedham. That's where the lines branch off, one going towards Lowestoft and one going towards Great Yarmouth. So just as we come past this industrial estate, I think it's an industrial estate if I remember right. Looks like industrial buildings. I don't know what this station is, but it's not Reedham. I forget what it's called. I think it was Ackle. No, not Ackle. I think it was called Summit Wood. Can't remember. Yeah, some sort of an industrial complex here. We've got a yellow signal up ahead, a yellow adverse signal. So that's telling us that we can expect a danger So I'm going to idle the power out, and if it's a single yellow, we must get prepared to stop. And it is single yellow, so let's coast just a little while first. In fact, we'll just brake, begin the slowdown, because the next signal could be red. And the signal is just round this bend, and it's a bit hard to see as well. It's on a line of trees, it's a bit hard to see the green light against the green trees. But that was the warning for the 15 mile per hour speed limit coming up, which has got the yellow morpeth board there. For some unknown reason, that signal decided to change at the last minute. And we are now approaching Reedham station. I can just see platform up ahead. The 15 mile per hour speed limit is just beyond this station here. So this is Reedham. I'll start braking now because the 15 mile per hour is just next to this signal here. Just checking that signal was on green, which it is. Sometimes it's on red when you arrive at it. It's a real strange way how the signals work on this route. Sometimes you'll approach it, and as you get close, the arm will raise. So the line going to the right is Lowestoft. This line is Great Yarmouth. We're approximately about 9 miles away now, I think. So we're going to be passing a small station called Wherry Arms. It's like a halt. When we pass that station, we need to be on the lookout because there is a 20 mile per hour temporary speed limit. So that's what we're going to be looking out for soon. But first we need to watch for the Wherry Arms. It's only a very small platform. can just make out Burnley Arms now. It's just on the horizon. Under it. So we should be passing it any second now. Yeah, here it is. This is Burnley Arms. We don't make a stop here. It's usually a request stop there. Right, now we're past the station, we need to look out for a 20 mile per hour speed restriction. We will get an audible warning before that happens anyway. There's a sensor on the track that lets us, an AWS ramp will warn us of this. When we get to this speed restriction, I think we're approximately we're just under 5 miles away then. Right, here's the ramp. And there's the board. Right, we'll start braking now. It's just beyond this speed board, I think. Whistle board. Just going to reduce brakes a little bit. Oh, we just turned the brakes off. That's it. Right, I can just see it. It's glistening in the sunlight. I need to brake a little bit harder. There's a little board on the opposite side. It's the termination board for the traffic coming the other way. It's just where, pretty much opposite that windmill, or whatever it is. We don't have any gradients to worry about on this one. We're just passing the termination board, and when we get to the next, like, agricultural crossing, it'll be about right to start going speeding back up again. Shortly there's going to be a 50 mile per hour speed restriction. We're going, at the minute it's 60. Approximately about a mile up here. And then after that there'll be a further speed restriction to 15 miles per hour, which will be the speed what we'll stay at then until we enter the Great Yarmouth station. That was the warning for the 50 mile per hour speed limit. So we're just going to coast at 55 and speed's just dropping slowly We shouldn't have to brake for this if we timed it right. Might need to dab the brakes, but we should be okay. It's round about where this next signal is. In fact, it's actually a bit further. It's where the two lines join up. Just here. We're just under it. This is the line joining up from Lowestoft. On the left hand side. When we get to the next whistle board, we'll start braking again. Oh, a little bit of lag there. Right, we're down to 25, just reduced the braking a little bit. Just looking out now for the 15 mile per hour speed boards around here somewhere. Just going to release the brakes, coming in slightly a bit too early. They're just here, where these red lights are. So we'll shortly be arriving at Great Yarmouth. You can just see the platforms up ahead. We shall park as close to the buffers as we can. These are quite long platforms, these, and it's only a 2-car train. And we have arrived at Great Yarmouth, a place that I've never been to. It's a holiday resort in Norfolk, East England. Anybody who's not from UK wants to know where it is. And over there is the North Sea. So that was Norwich to Great Yarmouth via Reedham. I hope you have all enjoyed this run through the Norfolk countryside, and if you liked it, then like I say, don't forget to give me that like or subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Give me a thumbs up, smash that bell button, because then you'll be able to be notified of any more content. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. And take care all. Till then, see you later.